Hello, my name is Michaela Haywood and I'll be talking about effective instruction for English language arts. So to start off, we're going to start with instruction for ELA and what works best. So something that works best is providing different approaches to how to learn a topic. So even though we have to be consistent within our teaching, we should let students know that there's more than one way to learn a topic, especially for those students that learn in different ways, so that's a form of differentiation. Visual explanation, which is also a form of differentiation. We should challenge students to envision things to help when they are reading, and even when they are writing, maybe even think about or envision where you want your writing to go and so on. And then apply different entry points of instruction. So how to start off each instruction that you do could be for activities or assignments. Demonstrate, so model for students so they can be successful. Read to think, so reading excerpts or text aloud to introduce a topic that could get students thinking. Write to learn, students could do journals on what they are learning, or even just having them do journals could help them exercise their writing and becoming better at writing. Discussion, so creating discussion groups, which goes back into read to think. So you can have set students up into groups once you read the excerpt and then have them discuss it. Reciprocal teaching, have students teach the group or class what they have learned. And I feel like that's also a great entry point of instruction, just because we find more that students learn better from each other than their teachers. And make sure to relate the text back to the students' lives, which ties into background knowledge, and that really helps with getting the students engaged in the reading and the writing and finding their own purpose along with the one that we have already established for them. So we also have group work, which works really well in ELA, but when we're doing group work, we have to make sure that we provide a structure and make expectations clear so students are held accountable for their roles in the group. Arrange groups so that students can interact with others unless students have common needs, or arrange groups according to seating chart. And I think arranging groups so that students can interact with the others is a huge one, because we often have cliques within the classroom where students only want to interact with the students that they know, and so breaking them out of that shell and allowing them to interact with others that they may not talk to on a daily basis, and then have students reflect on their process in the group and what they felt they learned from the group. Another huge one is don't overuse groups, just because they can become tiring and students often get bored in groups. If they start to talk too much, that means they're not actually talking about what they should. And then allow or create different purposes for groups to be formed, or form different groups such as think, pair, shares. And then going on to instructional sequencing. So make sure you know what skills you want to be taught, which is a form of backwards planning. And when doing so, have a clear objective and purpose for assignments or activities. Model for students so they know what is expected of them. Offer multiple opportunities to practice and apply skills. And make sure to stop throughout activities and assignments to address problems students might be having in the process. So that could be understanding vocabulary or understanding instruction overall. And I found out oftentimes I will have to stop and re-explain instruction, just because students tend to get off track or forget what they are supposed to be doing, even if it is posted on the board. And then allowing / finding time to give feedback to students, and that could be a great opportunity when you are offering opportunities for them to practice and apply skills. So for ELA, that would be for writing. You want to have time to go back to that first draft with the students and really get them to understand what they could fix, what they could add, or help them really formulate their ideas. And then we have academic language, which is a huge part of ELA as well. So we have developing academic grammar and vocabulary. So have students identify certain grammar components in their conversations and their writing. So having them self-evaluate and see what grammar mistakes they have made and going back and being able to fix it on their own without being told that it's a mistake. And there are some activities that could help with that. And then there's also different words that apply to academic language within ELA. So you have compare and contrast, analyze, identify, demonstrate, determine, evaluate, and those all apply to how we teach writing. So those are used when we are writing, and they help with our backwards planning as well. So what do we want the students to be able to do by the end of the lesson? And that could be analyze how a character uses something within the text, and so on. And then we have differentiated instruction / scaffolding. And so we should observe students working on an assignment. So that could be before we even decide how we're going to differentiate / scaffold. So it could be a basic assignment as journaling, ask them a question, and have them write on for about maybe 3 minutes and answer the question. And then for scaffolds and differentiation, using graphic organizers such as KWL charts or paragraph organizers. I've personally used paragraph organizers, and I've found that they can either be very helpful for some students or very confusing for some students. Some students tend to think that because there are boxes everywhere that they're supposed to be separate paragraphs, and you have to really explain to them that it should be one paragraph for each idea that ties back into the main box. So, and then having a class discussion on what students know about a certain topic related to the text. So that allows for students to share out their ideas, which could also be a form of differentiation for students that learn better from other students, having it put into terms that they understand, and having it be explained to them at a slower pace than such a fast pace that we have to go as teachers. Have handouts with sentence frames. I found that to be very helpful as well. So that could be even sentence starters, the author states, but also explaining that you want to use more than one, the same one, because then you are essentially repeating yourself. And then allowing more time for students, which is something that I have to do in my class, considering I have about 16 ELs. So allowing them time to actually process what they should be doing and understand the material. And then model for students using technology that allows for the whole class to see. So I have a projector and an overhead in which I model for students. I have their handout. I fill it out with them as we go for the first time, and then I allow them to ask questions and then do it on their own. And that's a form of scaffolding as well, and differentiating for students that need to see it in order to understand it. And then also allowing students to translate materials into their home language if they are EL. So that also ties back to allowing more time for students. Just because they are translating, it's going to take them longer to process from going from one language to the next, or even having them write it in their home language first and then translate it into English. And then how it all ties into the Ed to PA central focus and my content area. So the central focus for ELA is tied into the purpose for having students read/write in the unit. So that could be analyze, evaluate, identify, and all those academic language words. And so for the central focus, that would just be one word. And this lets us know what students should be able to do by the end of the lesson plan unit and what has to be done throughout to help students be successful. So the activities that were planned, the assignments, the reading, and how everything was chunked or broken up to allow students to meet that goal to analyze, evaluate, or identify. And yeah, that's what I have for effective instruction. Ding!